The popular social media app TikTok has been a growing sensation since the beginning of COVID-19. During these draining times of isolation, users found TikTok as a way to stay connected with others all over the world. People started using the app more and were able to gain creative inspiration and get a virtual escape from the reality of COVID. I'm Nika Nifuoshe. Let's talk a little bit more about how TikTok has changed today's fame game. Pre-TikTok era, becoming famous usually involved having some sort of talent or a brand, whether that be having a voice of an angel like Ariana Grande, impressive acting skills like Viola Davis, or an unrealistic figure like Kim Kardashian. Aspiring celebrities had to bring something to the plate. TikTok has changed that concept completely. With the unique algorithm of TikTok, some people have reaped the benefits of the new path to fame. Everyone's attention has been caught by the growth and fame of TikTok superstars like Charli D'Amelio and Addison Rae, as they are now in the center of the spotlight. Because of the rapid growth of these stars, people are more aware of the correlation between beauty and fame with today's generation of social media influencers. Abby Jordan is in the studio with more on this so-called pretty privilege.
Thanks for having me, Nike. Social media has been the leading factor of pretty privilege today. Pretty privilege works where people who are thought of as being more attractive receive more opportunities than regular people.
Yeah, I think TikTok is such a good example of this. Big stars or even micro-influencers on TikTok have received a lot of views dancing to a sound or lip syncing simply because they are attractive.
Some of them use popular sounds to show off their new makeup routines or their new hairstyle. A lot of TikTokers do this, but the majority of the videos that blow up are of the users that meet society's beauty standards. Psychologists term this phenomena the halo effect, essentially describing how good looks increase a person's success and even their paycheck. In a study done in 1991, economists found that conventionally attractive people make 12 to 14% more money than unattractive people. So, it pays to be pretty.
If you really think about it, the way we idolize celebrities and influencers is kind of insane. Like, how do we choose which people we're going to devote our daily lives to, who to follow, what to like, what to mute, all of that? There's just so many questions here. To give us a little more insight in the science and history behind what we do, Associate Professor at UNC Chapel Hill, Dean Freelon, is in the studio with us today, and he has put in copious amounts of research into how ordinary citizens use social media and other digital communication technologies for political purposes. So, Dean, let's start off with our big question. How do we fall into the world of influencing?
I don't know. I think different people are influenced by different influencers, I guess, right? So, I mean, it depends on a lot of factors, right? So it depends on like race, gender, age, what you want to do with your life, the amount of money you make, like where you live, the kind of stuff that you find funny, the things you do in your like free time, stuff like that.
Thank you so much for your insight, Dean. That helps us all grasp a little more the whys and hows of celebrity and influencer culture in all realms.
As far as influencers go, I think my guess would be that you find the influencers that are kind of talking about the stuff that you're interested in, and then you have your own kind of like niche following, and obviously some people are going to rise higher than others because their audiences are bigger, their content has a bigger, appeal. And so I think there's space for a lot of different folks to get into whatever it is they think is really cool.
Reflecting a lot on what Dean spoke with me about, it's easy to see how it plays out in my life. I follow people who can inspire me creatively when it comes to my style. I follow those who can give me inspiration when it comes to cooking. And I straight up just follow people who make me laugh and I feel like I can relate to on multiple levels. When I think about all the cooking videos that take up too much of my time, there's one account that literally just comes to mind, and that's the Meal She Eats account that's run by Tom and Rachel Sullivan. Fortunately for us, our reporter Abby Jordan is in the field today talking with Tom and Rachel about all things food, fame, and fortune.
Thanks so much, Nike. I'm so excited that I got to talk to Tom and Rachel Sullivan, more commonly known as Meal She Eats, who went viral on TikTok just over a year ago. Now, with over 700,000 followers and 27 million views, they feed local college students every other week. I spoke with them in the place that started it all, their kitchen. Rachel and Tom Sullivan moved to North Carolina for their careers, but after the move, they wanted to build a community. Because of Tom's skills in the kitchen, he got to cooking and shared some leftovers with a local college kid. After posting just one video with a college kid named Kevin, they became a sensation and now run a program to adopt college kids. Their fame wasn't born from any special skill, but from their sense of community.
It's just relatable that if you're in college, you can relate to getting free food. If you're out of college, you can relate to that time. So many people could relate to it in every aspect.
And I feel like from our DMs, like the relatable piece, it threw us back in college. It put us back in college. We're like, oh my gosh, this would have been nice to do at a larger scale. So kind of.
Yeah. It also it helped that Kevin was adorable and all the women were like in love with him. So
even though they didn't go viral for their looks, they still use it to their advantage.
Tom's face is recognizable, like when I shoot. But I shoot a lot of like storytelling, so I don't necessarily always show myself. I'm slowly trying to bring myself in. That way I can just be like, this is also a face that's like, like you can just see it, notice it.
This doesn't mean they're immune to hate. With new ways to become famous comes more accessibility for people to express their hate.
Like at first it used, like the first time you go really viral and mean things are said about you, you shot, like I did personally. I was not strong enough to stand up for myself. I shied away from my phone. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. It's really hard being vulnerable, putting yourself out there. And then you remember that these people don't know you. Like they are not your friends and your family. Like your friends and family love you and support you. And those are the only people you should worry about, not like some random person on the internet who's never going to speak to you again.
TikTok didn't just bring them community. It has also brought business opportunities.
We want to find people that align with us. We also know there's big brands who have the ability to help us in big ways, who maybe their one product doesn't align, but the people running the company want to help us.
Rachel and Tom were quick to laugh when I called them TikTok famous, reinforcing how they believe this fame is only a way to build community. In Chapel Hill, I'm Abby Jordan.
One person in particular who's my go-to girl for all things is Gabby DiPietro, commonly known as Gibbs on TikTok.
No.
Gabby has 2.8 million followers, and that number is growing daily. I'm so excited to have Gabby with us today. Now, Gabby, it goes without question, you have made quite the name for yourself on TikTok. Does having lots of people constantly coming up to you ever get to you, or are you kind of like just used to it now?
It sometimes gives me really bad anxiety.
Yeah.
Because I'll have like 20 people come up to me, like not even joking you, maybe even more than that. And I won't be able to like actually go out and have a good time.
Oh yeah, that is tough for sure. But I have to think, like with all this newfound TikTok fame, you have to have some perks from it, right?
It's honestly really cool. It is, but it's really weird at the same time because I'm just this normal college student. Like I've gained so much experience from this, but I've also been learning about PR and marketing and branding and all this stuff while I'm also on TikTok. So it's like killing a bird with two stones. That's the friggin' phrase. I don't know.
And I think that's why we love you so much. Like we see all these influencers who have moved to LA, they're in content houses, they're hanging out with A-list celebrities, but you've taken a completely different approach and made almost 3 million people fall in love with your content at the same time. What do you think has made so many people fall in love with Gibbs?
I think, honestly, I get humbled a lot. I think that I'm just so real on my TikTok that what you get on the internet is what you get in person as well. So like, I'm going to act myself. I'm going to act like before and how you see me on the internet now.
Gabby, well, it's been an honor. I'm fangirling. I know whoever is listening to this is fangirling. You are straight up just an icon. Thank you so much for spending some time with us today. Well, y'all, TikTok has truly changed the fame game. What once used to be something that had to be achieved with talent can now be achieved with beauty. Something that used to be achieved in years can now be achieved with one viral post. With all that in mind, we have to look at TikTok for what it is, a means in which people can be entertained. This app has given a voice and a platform to a plethora of people in a different way than we've seen in the past. No matter what interests you, there's always someone who can speak to you on a deeper level and can give you exactly what you're looking for. I'm Nikkei, and thanks so much for tuning in.